And joining us on the line is great to welcome to Flow, Kylie Ryan. G'day, Kylie. How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm surviving okay. You doing okay? You keeping your chin up and everything?
You're in South Australia, so you guys are doing pretty much okay over there. Where I'm in Sydney, so yeah, we just keep on keeping on. I think I just feel like I'm waiting for the press conference where Gladys just walks out and says, "Look, I've done everything I can. You guys are on your own. Like I'm done. I'm done the beach, and I'll see you later."
I thought she was already doing that, but anyway.
Oh no! Look, she's up against it here. Honestly, I don't know. I'm probably going against the grain here, but I was a fan of hers to start with, and I think she's done all she can here. But look, you can't get people to do the right thing if they're not going to do the right thing, and whatever the right thing is, it's not working. So I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's a frustration. I feel for the leaders because they're damned if they do, damned if they don't.
Absolutely.
Whichever side of politics, they're not going to win. So it makes it really difficult because some will say, "Oh, yes, they're doing the right thing," and others, "No, they don't." We saw it last year with Daniel Andrews and that. Although I'm yet to anyone at the moment call her dictator Gladys, so I kind of think some of the media had a bit to play with all that. But that's another side issue. Yeah.
I did have to laugh at Brad Hazard. He came out on the week one of his conferences on the weekend where he said something. A journalist asked him a question, and he said, "Look, mate, you just can't put brains in concrete." And I thought that just sums it up perfectly, really.
Absolutely. You have to pinch that line. That's a good one because I can relate that to a couple of people. But anyway.
Yes, and can't we all?
Yeah. Well, so you're surviving okay in this current situation. That's good to hear.
I'm doing all right. Yeah, look, I've got a lot of muso mates who are doing it really, really tough over here. And, we're all in different situations. Some of us have not been able to travel for work, which is what I was going to do. We're not been able to do gigs. We're not been able to, even record now anything we've done because we're all completely locked down. So if some people are able to do a few gigs here and there when, different lockdowns allow, and some of us are just stuck kind of twiddling our thumbs, or in my case, I'm finally learning to play the guitar.
Well,
It's going to kind of be a good thing that'll come out of lockdown for me.
Well, that's good. It's good to be able to learn something new and do something new. And
that's it.
And even like last year when I was talking with artists and all this last 12 months especially, that many have had to, because of the circumstances they're in, have had to learn new skills and even to recording. And one artist I spoke to, she learned how to properly record her vocals to the point now where she's going back and redoing all her old stuff because she doesn't like the vocals. Now she can do them better. So
that's fantastic.
It's learning all those skills. Yeah. So it's good.
Yeah, that's really cool. I pivoted back to my old career for a while. Like went back to that because I was supposed to be in America last year. So that obviously didn't happen. So I kind of went, okay, what do I do? I didn't want to sit around and do nothing. So I used to run a transcription company before I went into music full time. And so I pivoted back to that for a while and was lucky because there was a lot of work to be done because courts were still going and things like that. So I was lucky I was able to work and, kind of keep my head above water and get some money behind me too, which was really fortuitous. But I kind of figured that, come August this year that we wouldn't still be here. But here we are.
Here we are indeed. You're sitting there, you're in lockdown, you're learning the guitar. So when you're learning the guitar, is that sort of starting to trigger off song ideas and some inspiration? Yeah?
Yeah, it is. It's kind of cool because, you'll be playing a song that, a cover or something like that for something else, and you'll change a chord here or there because you know how users we get a little bit creative and best things happen with accidents. And I've actually written a song that was using the chords I was learning for something else, but just changed the melody and it's now a new song I've got waiting in the wings to do something with after all of this. So it's been really cool. I'm really kind of enjoying it. It's a bit frustrating. Yep. I can understand why people learn when they're children, and in actual fact, parents get your children learning instruments because it'll be much easier on them when they're older. But,
absolutely,
it's a challenge.
What about using the Zoom technology? Have you done any of that, Kylie?
I've done some songwriting with some of the guys over in Nashville. We started working on an album when I was over there in December 2019, and I started writing for an album that I'm still looking to produce with them when the world finally opens back up again. But we've kind of done some writing of songs and meetings and just some strategy sessions and things like that over Zoom that I find it difficult to write over Zoom. I find that I really loved the atmosphere of working in a room with people, and the ideas just kind of fire really quickly.
Yep.
And I felt that some of that got a little bit lost over Zoom, where we got a glitch, here, and it was kind of like, what did you say? And it's like, I can't remember now. Oh, doesn't matter, it'll come back to me, and it doesn't come back to you.
Yep.
It's kind of like when you're on that moment and you're in the ground and someone's got an iPhone and they're recording the whole conversation, that you can just go back and rehash, oh, what was that word? And it's right there. It was good to be able to do that, and it's great that technology allows us to do that in these times, but I really do miss that face-to-face collaboration that happens.
You mean to tell me that you're in Sydney, that your NBN, your mythical NBN, just would drop out? I mean, that's just unheard of.
Yeah, I know. We're pretty taxing on our NBN here in my household. We've got 3.5 of us working from home. So we've got one at uni, one working. My husband and I both using the internet and that as well. So we really do ride it hard. But, yeah, it's not perfect, but...
It is what it is.
It is what it is. That's the saying for this year, I think. It is what it is.
Now, with your new song that we need to talk about for the first time, just on the video, who's the bloke in the video?
That's my husband.
Okay.
And he doesn't drink, he doesn't gamble. He's actually an ex-police officer and he's a lawyer by trade, so he does none of those things.
Well, I thought he got the moody Sean Penn look down well.
Oh, I'll tell him you said that. I actually, I'm really proud of him, actually. I said the best thing about my videos with my co-star, he's really, really good at it, But I'll tell him he's got the moody Sean Penn thing down.
Oh, yes, he got that. I'm just looking at him. He's on my screen right now, the moody Sean Penn look. Yes, he's got that down. He's done it really well. He could. I think he could probably outdo Sean Penn, really. But anyway.
Oh, I'll tell him you said that. He's got a few screenplays that he's written in his spare time in the pipeline. That again, we were looking to go to the States, and he was going to go. I was going to go to Nashville. He was going to go to Los Angeles, and So I'll tell him that he might be able to do the whole Sylvester Stallone thing and act in his own screenplays.
Well, why not indeed? Now, now, this song, for the first time, it explores relationships gone bad, and I gather based on personal experience. So hopefully you came through it all okay.
Oh, I did come through it okay. Look, I was talking to someone else last week, and I was just saying that, as we get older, and I'm not a young chicken anymore, so I've kind of been around the block a couple of times, and I've been through some things in life, and experiences and things that happen to us in life, good and bad, shape us into the people that we become. And this guy, I thought I was totally in love with him, and just completely missed all the signs that that he was not a nice guy. And it didn't matter the number of people that tried to tell me differently, or the nagging feeling in the pit of my stomach. I just completely missed it until one day something happened, and it was very, very small, but I just, I'm like, oh my God, like I actually see who you are for the first time, and that's kind of what sparked it. It's like, for the first time, I see what you're really like, I see what you're all about, and now I can't unsee it.
Yeah, that's what happens. And you know what's worse? It's worse for the friends who are trying to tell you, and having been in that situation, and to be on that outside, and you mention things and then they don't believe you, and then when they go through it, they go, why didn't you say something? And you're like, well, duh, we have, but you just wouldn't hear.
Yeah, how many times did I try and... Yeah, but look, having been through it now, I have so much empathy for people who are in situations that are similar to that, and even worse, because you don't realise what's happening to you until it's almost like it's too late. I liken it to the spider in the web. You don't realise that you're caught in this trap until it's too late. And then it's like, how do I unravel myself from this? How do I get out of this? And I was a mum with 2 really small kids at the time, and I just thought, I can't do this on my own. How am I going to do this? And he had me believing that I couldn't do it on my own. So I was kind of caught in that catch-22 until, I just said, look, anything's got to be better than being with you. Yeah. And, it was that. And since then, I've honestly never looked back. So
you've written this song about it. So what's the feedback been like? I'm sure many have gone, yep, I can relate to that, and have picked parts out of it to relate with you. So has that been the general reaction?
Absolutely.
Yep.
It has been. A lot of people have said, that's been their story, both men and women. It's not just women that this happens to. I've got a lot of guys have said to me, that, oh my God, I dated a girl who was like this, and they're very similar traits. I mean, it's a disorder.
Yeah.
It's in the DSM manual. I've studied psychology, so and that even happened to me, and I studied psychology. So go figure. Yeah. But it's very common, and a lot more common than people realise, I think. And some people will realise that that's what they're doing to others and will change. But, when you've got a real full-blown narcissist on your hands, I don't think they're ever going to change for anybody because they honestly don't feel they have to. It's not them that's the problem, it's everybody else.
Oh, yes. And some of them become our elected leaders too, so...
Some of them become all sorts of things.
Yeah. The other thing I like about the song, Kylie, is that it could have been one of those slow, sappy, sort of ballady kind of things, but it's got great energy.
That's how it started its life. It started its life as a ballad, as a slow ballad. And I like the words, but when I took it to the producer, it was like, we're looking at, what have you been writing? What are you doing? What are your ideas? I'm like, listen to this. I went through it and I said, but it sounds so sad and poor me, and that's not the message that I wanted to come across. It was like, I've seen you, and now I've seen it. I can choose now what I do, and I wanted it to be a positive thing that comes out of realising that something isn't as it seems. So that's how we ended up recording it by accident. We sped it up a little bit and went, nah, that's not it, and we sang it one way, and then I was just in the booth and I went, what about this? And Stuart just started recording it, and he went, yeah, we like that, let's do it again. So it's cool. That's how it's finished its life, So I wanted it to have an upbeat energy about it. Yeah,
well, that's it. I mean, with what you're singing about and the basis of the song, and then, as I said, it could have gone down that road. But when you hear it and you think, okay, this has happened to me, I can get through it, I got through it, here is someone singing a song about how they got through it. Yeah, we should be positive. We shouldn't be sitting there feeling sorry for ourselves. We should be standing up going, yeah, we got through, we survived, and you're not going to fool us ever again. So that's what I love about it.
But it is a process. You do have to go through that. I went through some really dark times after it, and that's when the song was written, actually, on a night I was feeling really, really low. And it was, it is a process you have to go through. It's not, I felt great the day I left, and then for the next few months after that, my life just turned to crap again. I'm like, what have I done? But it was a process of moving through it and growing. And I think any time something traumatic happens to us in our lives, no matter what it is, you do have to go through that process of being sad, of grieving, of leaving that behind. And then I think you're free after that to transform it into something more positive. And that's what I wanted. I couldn't have done it positively if I'd recorded it, say, even 6 months after I'd left. It just wouldn't have felt the same. But, a couple of years or years and years now, later, I can say, if I had stayed with you, my life wouldn't be what it is now, and I'm really happy about that. So,
well, you got to meet Sean Penn, so there you go.
Tell him that. He's been likened to Sylvester Stallone and Al Pacino before, but never Sean Penn, I'll tell you that.
Sean Penn, he's got the Sean Penn look.
But only his acting ability.
Well, I'll take your word for that. So I'll take.
No, I was going to say not Sean Penn personally, but. Yeah.
Well, Kylie, you talked about this album, so I know it's a bit hard to sort of pinpoint when it's going to possibly be out, but 2 questions with it. What are some of the other songs going to be on the album, and is there a possibility it'll be sort of this year or next?
It'll be next year.
Next year, okay.
And I'm looking at the middle of next year as the release of the album, because there's a couple of singles that'll come out before that.
Yep.
Depending on what happens with the whole world, but the middle to the end of next year is when I'm looking to release the whole album. And look, it's going to be upbeat. It's a little bit cheeky. Some of the songs are a little bit sassy, a little bit cheeky, but that's the way I write, and that's the way I wanted it to come across. It's going to have a real positive message about it too, and it's just going to be a collaboration of, upbeat. There's some heartbreak songs on there, but there's a lot of fun, not in your face, just like I said, cheeky and humorous lines in some of them. I don't want to give too much of it away because it is quite a bit different to some of the things I've written in the past, but very, very contemporary country rock.
Well, that's what we like. We like cheeky, we like sassy. It all seems to go well together. So I'm thinking it's going to be fun to hear the next sort of songs from you. But we've got your current one here today.
It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to to getting it all written and working out how we're going to structure it and the message that the album's going to have. And then I'm really, really looking forward to getting out here and in the States and touring and doing some shows and doing some fairs and festivals, and it'll be good fun.
Absolutely. Well, Kylie, it has been absolutely fun chatting to you. I look forward to our next encounter. And I think next time we'll be chatting, hopefully it'll be at KFC.
Oh, look, at KFC in South Australia, because that means I can come to you again.
Sounds good to me. Kylie, I've got your current single here ready to go, ready for all the Flow listeners. If you could please introduce it for us, and thank you so much for spending time with us.
No worries, Clayton. This is Kylie Ryan, and you're listening to Flow FM and my new single, For the First Time.
I believed every word that you told me in your twisted fairy tale. I believed every line that you spoke it, so I gave myself away. But then funny little things started happening, and it's funny how you push them to the side as the perfect mask you wore started to slide. For the first time I hear it, the truth behind your lies. For the first time I believe in what I'm reading in your eyes. Was never not staring back, but your pain-filled fears. You tried to bury me with all these years. Now I see you crystal clear for the first time. Too young to really know what I wanted or who I wanted to be. I know it was nothing and no one like you made me out to be. All those funny little things that were happening ain't so funny now. I'm looking back in time at the red flags you wore.